Multiplying fractions, folks. It's a lot easier than adding fractions and subtracting fractions. Okay? We are multiplying fractions and also dividing fractions in this show. This is the final show in Stunning Lad 1, the Teacher series. Okay? The highlights video is coming up next, and then we're moving on to other things, comedy and some other bits and pieces. So plenty to look forward to, but please enjoy this show. A lot to learn here, very important stuff. This is different to the other examples in adding fractions and subtracting fractions because we do not have to find a common denominator. It doesn't matter what these denominators are. Here's how easy it is. 1 times 3. Well, 1 times anything is going to be 3. Well, sorry. If it was 1 times 9, it would be 9. If it was 1 times 18, it would be 18. If it was 1 times nothing, it would be nothing. You know what I mean, don't you? So we're multiplying that row, and then we're multiplying this row. So what is 2 times 4? 8. There's your answer. That's how easy multiplying fractions is. However, I'm going to show you some more examples which I have written out to save a little bit of time. I have blotting paper underneath, which is actually an A4 envelope, but it does the trick. Okay, a half times a half. 1 times 1 is, surprise, surprise, 1. 2 times 2 is 4. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Because it's really asking you what is half of half. Okay? And half of a half is a quarter. And the next example, we're firing through this pretty quickly. Slightly different this time, because I've got a negative number here, but it's the exact same principle. 2 times 3 is 6, but this is a negative. So 2 times a negative is still a negative. So we know that the numerator is going to be negative 6 or minus 6. 5 times 10, nice easy one there, is 6 over 50. Now we could have done a little trick there just to reduce the mathematics. We could have said what number goes into 2 and what number goes into 10? 5. And that just reduces it a little bit further. Now you can also do it this side too. Does 3 go into 5, or does 5 go into 3, or does any number go into both numbers? The answer there is no. So here, if we had reduced it, we were asking what is 1 times minus 3? 1 times minus 3 is minus 3. What is 5 times 5? 5 times 5 is 25. So you see how that works out there? That is basically just reducing that fraction. In fact, we could have done it there anyway, because it's a simple case of saying, right, 2 goes into minus, 2 goes into, just forget about the minus, okay, just, you know, don't let that confuse you, just think about the number. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 50 25 times. So it's just a little trick there, so you're getting the lowest possible number without having to do the you know, the working out bit at the end. That's just a little trick for you. Now this one here is slightly different because I have put an integer. We have got an integer here, okay, one integer. Right, we want to show this as a fraction, okay. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. There we go. And that's how easy it is. That is how easy it is to show an integer and a fraction as one improper fraction. It's 2 times the integer, which in this case was 2. 2 times 2 makes 4, plus your 1 that's already there is 5, so it's 5 over 2. Okay? Times 10 over 3. Of course, that could have also been written as 3 1/3, couldn't it? Because 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1/3 left over. Right, let's look at this here and let's see if we can reduce anything. And we can, because 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 10 5 times. So 5 times 5 is 25, and 1 times 3 is, surprise, surprise, 3. So 2.5 times 10 over 3 is 25 over 3. And like before, actually see that looks a little bit silly, doesn't it? 25 over 3. So we just put 3 into 25 and we get 8. There's still 1 left over, isn't there? 1 left over, okay? And that really, that there is your answer. Just let you ponder that for a few seconds, because there was a few bits and pieces to take in there. Hope you get my drift there. And on to the next one. Okay, we're now multiplying minus figures. Right, we want to turn this into a fraction straight away. Okay, so minus 2. Now you can show any integer as a fraction. It's just a simple case of doing that. Putting the figure over 1. So we've got minus 2 times minus 3/7. Right, now can any of these numbers go into each other? Can we make it a little bit simpler? No, we can't. Okay, so minus 2 times minus 2. A minus times a minus, don't forget, is a positive. So it's 6. 6. 1 times 7 is 7. So your answer there would be 6 over 7. Minus 2 times minus 3/7 is 6/7. It looks complicated, but the procedure to work it out actually is quite straightforward. Okay, don't forget to put, if you're turning an integer into a fraction, it's just, that could be any number, that could be minus 11. If that's the case, it's minus 11 over 1. Okay, and that shows it as an improper fraction. Right, caught me unawares there. Right, okay. Dividing. dividing fractions. Okay? Now, dividing fractions is so similar to multiplying fractions. It is unbelievable. In fact, it's exactly the same. Exactly the same. All you have to do is this. Let's have a look at it. So let's change this for starters. 1 and 7/16. Right, we want to turn this into an improper fraction. So it is a fraction being divided by a fraction. 16 times 1 is 16. Plus 7 is 23. 23 over 16 is exactly the same as 1 and 7/16. Okay, it's being divided. You see, it's actually being divided by 4, because 4 over 1 is 4. But we've already done that for you there. However, what we've got to do now is we've got to change the denominator, put it up there, and vice versa, and then turn it into a multiplication. It's as simple as that. 23 over 16 times 1 over 4. Okay, that changes round. The denominator swaps places with the numerator. And then it's a simple case of going 23 times 1 is 23. 4 times 16 is 64. And that is your answer. 1 and 7/16 divided by 4 is 23 over 64. Another example already written out for you. One third divided by 3 and 2/5. So straight away we can do that, because we're really multiplying, aren't we? Once we've sorted this out, right, we know that's fine. Third is fine, but this isn't. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. There you have it. Now, what is missing? You're right, we haven't flipped them round. So now we're seeing 1/3 times 5 over 17. That's simple enough. Now, I'm going to put the answer up here, okay? Ran out of space there. We're really saying 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 17 is 51. Now, I'm not going to go through the procedure of reducing them, but I don't think we can reduce that one anyway. However, 5 over 51 is the right answer anyway. That is the fraction, that is the answer when you say what is 1/3 divided by 3 and 2/5. Simple case. Once you've turned it into an improper fraction, is to change them around. Okay? And that gives you the same answer, because just like we learned when we were doing a long division, you get to the same answer with multiplication as you do with division. Okay? And that's exactly the same procedure here with a fraction, and it's so much easier because it's just a simple case of flipping the denominator, changing the denominator with the numerator in the number that is being divided. Hope that's clear. Right, we're back to I've done this again, but that's okay. That would be 4 over 1, wouldn't it? Got a minus number here. So this here changes to, don't forget it's a negative. And this here gets flipped over. 2 times 1 is 2. 18 times 4 is 40, is 72. And of course it's quite easy to reduce that a little bit, isn't it? You know, 2 into 2 goes in once, 2 into 72 goes in 36 times. The answer there is a nice neat 1 over 36. We have made a mistake, however, because I forgot about the negative here. So it was negative 2 times 1, so actually that should have been negative 2 there. So apologies there, but it's just a simple case of adding in the negative. Because a negative times a number is still a negative. So that's it in its reduced form. Next example, let's see if you can work this out yourself. I'll give you a few seconds. You can press the pause button if you wish. Okay. We're going to put it in its correct format now. Okay, you see that? Now we can also do a little trick here again to make sure that we haven't got crazy big numbers. Does 5 go into 5? Yes. And does 5 go into 10? Yes. You're always doing it in diagonals, okay? So that changes to 2. Now, does 5 go into 5? Yep. 3 times. Does 5 go into 20? Yep. 4 times. So you can see what we've got now. We have now got 1/4 times negative 3 over 2. Okay, so that is going to be 1 times minus 3 is minus 3. It's going to be 4 times 2, which is 8. And that is our answer. 5 over 20 divided by negative 10 over 15 is negative 3 over 8. It's a handy little trick that, but don't worry, if that just confuses you, you can forget all about it, but it will mean that you'll be getting a much larger number. In fact, let's try it like that, shall we? You see what I mean? 5 times, it'd be 5 times 5 times minus 5 times negative 15, which would have been 50, 75, and it would have been 20 times 10, which would have been 200. So you would have had 75 over 200, and then you would have had the situation where you would had to have reduced it to show the fraction in its lowest form. So that saves you that bother. Yeah, it's unusual that we're finishing on an easy one, but why not, eh? Why not? I want you to go through this with me here. Do you know what we're doing next? Are we putting the 1 there? Or are we putting the 2 there? You've got it. Putting the 2 there. Because 3/4 divided by 1/2 is exactly the same as 3/4 times 2/1 or times 2. And then 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. And that can also be shown, that's 6/4, which is an improper fraction, which is fine and dandy. But you can also show that as 1 and 2/4, because 4 goes into 6 once and it leaves a remainder of 2/4. Nice easy one to finish up on there. And that is actually the final show in my maths series. I really hope you have enjoyed them. We're moving on to some other things now, but the videos will be there forevermore if I have my way, so you can look at them and study and learn. So please remember to look, study and learn, and if you like, rate, comment, subscribe, add to your favourites, all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'll see you all in the next show, and thank you very much indeed for watching. Ta-da! In fact, shall I do a disappearing trick again? Bye!